the pool that thing came from. The parasite now writhing behind your eye.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video, and I hope you enjoyed that little clip of me playing Baldur's Gate 3. Related to Baldur's Gate 3, what we're programming is the following in Python. We're to create a program that simulates the ability check from the video game called Baldur's Gate 3. An ability check in Baldur's Gate 3 is determined by, first, the difficulty class. The DC is a number representing how hard a task is. When a player wants to do something uncertain, like jumping a gap or sneaking past guards, or the Dungeon Master sets the DC. The player rolls a 20-sided die and adds modifiers from their character to the roll. If the total meets or beats the DC, the action succeeds. If not, it fails. The D20 introduces randomness, making even skilled characters sometimes fail in challenging situations, adding excitement to the game. Now, in this program, we're just going to take a single integer value representing the DC of our certain task, and we're going to randomly roll 1 to 20 inclusively to generate the player's dice roll result, and we're going to compare if they were successful or not. So in this code here, we're going to have some randomness. What I want to do first is just go write our import statement. So I'm going to say from our random module, I'm going to be importing a function called range, and we'll be using that to generate a number from 1 to 20. Okay, now let's do our input. We're going to get the difficulty. Let's put that as a lowercase right there and set that equal to int input, enter the DC. All right, and at this point, we're just grabbing an integer-based input, and we're going to be asking for a number. It can be anything, but let's do our processing. And our output's going to be also determined by what we process, because our output's dependent on a certain condition. So this is where we start to put processing and output all together. So we're going to do the following. First, the player roll is going to be generated by using the range function, and we're going to put 1 to 21. This is because range function never includes, let me put some temporary arguments there, never includes B. Moreover, it goes up to B. So in this case, it's going to generate a random number from 1 to 21, and it won't ever include 21. So we know that for sure, inclusively, we will have values from 1 to 20, whole numbers available, and it's going to randomly choose a value for us. Okay, so we have our difficulty, we have our player roll. So for fun, we're going to say print f string, the player has rolled, player roll. Let's insert that on their D20. D20, if you don't know, is a 20-sided die. Okay, so first we're going to output this message. The player has rolled blank on their D20, and this value is going to be any number from 1 to 20 inclusively. And then we're going to write a little if statement now. We're going to say if the player roll is greater or equal to the difficulty set by the input, we're going to write the following. The player was successful as player roll is greater than difficulty. We'll write that, and we'll turn this into an F string. All right, and then I'm just going to copy this over and write an else statement. So as if that condition was false, we're going to say print the player was not successful as the player roll is less than the difficulty, like so. So let's run our program. We're gonna run Python vid07.py. We're gonna enter the DC. Let's say it was a very simple task where we're gonna give it a difficulty class of 5, and it said the player has rolled 11 on their D20, and we're gonna say the player was successful as 11 is greater than or equal to 5. Awesome. So in this question, we have done many things. Number one, we wrote import statements, I personally like using the from import method to just choose the functions that I need, or maybe values I would need from a module. So in this case, I said from random module, I'm importing rand range. Inside our input here, we took a simple input and converted it to an integer to assign the difficulty class of our role. In our processing and output, first what I had to do was create a random number for our player role, which is from 1 to 21 in this case for rand range, because we learned that it will never include B and it will go from A to B always. And here we just wrote a little formatted print statement where we said the player has rolled this value on their D20 roll, and we were able to get two types of potential outputs thanks to our if statement. We're saying if the player roll, this random number we generated, is greater than or equal to the difficulty, we're going to output this message down below. If this was false, then we're going to go and print out this message down below. So this was a quick little intro how to use your if statements, how to use the rand range function throughout your program. Okay. As always, thank you for watching and stay classy.